Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the greatest podcast on the planet Earth, the Joe Rogan Show. Okay, I'm kidding. I'm not Joe Rogan. I wish I was sometimes. His podcast is really cool. Kind of was one of my motivations for this podcast. Don't talk as nearly as much as Joe Rogan, and my episodes are not 3.5 hours long because I love you guys. I don't want to have you sit through 3.5 hours of me just talking. But this is the Christian Music Bros podcast with Brendan Burke, and I'm great to see you back here today. It's a beautiful Saturday here in January where as of today we are like 15 days from my birthday or something like that. And the Lions are in the playoffs. Life is going good. If you're not a Lions fan, please cheer for the Lions. Don't be one of those bandwagons though, because I feel like it's taken over Earth. But we're not here to talk about Lions football as much as I could talk about Lions football on top of Christian music. But we're going to be talking about Christian music, and I'm here with a special guest today, Jay Davids. I'm going to let Jay introduce himself right now.
Hey, this is Jay Davids. Yeah, I am a Christian music artist. I've been around for a minute, but just releasing new music now and working with Nashville Christian songwriters and NRT. And yeah, I'm excited to be here.
Thank you for joining me today. I appreciate your time. And everyone, say hello to Jay. I know you. This is just a lot like pre-recorded segment, but drop a hello in the comments or follow his page when we're done posting this episode and everything. And Jay, thank you again for being here.
My
We're going to
pleasure.
start off nice and easy. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, like how you got involved in music?
So I pretty much grew up doing music. When I was 3 years old or so, I grew up in a musical family. I'm the youngest of four, and so I've always just been a part of my life. But growing up in church, I was the little kid up front that was flipping the little transparencies back, if you know what those are, back before. Yeah, so they used to have these overheads. I'm not going to go into the whole story. It's showing up on the wall. It's, before
Mhm.
projectors. But so I was the little kid doing that while my family was all on the worship team. So I just grew up in music. Been professionally trained since a young child, and yeah, so I've just always, it's like breathing to me. It's something I've always done. I can't imagine life without it. We grew up, music was a part of the household. Like we would sit around the kitchen table. Dad would pull out his guitar after dinner and we would all sing together. It was I found out that that was actually not normal. But to me that was the everyday. So yeah, just always been a part of it.
That's really cool. And I just want to say you have a really cool sweatshirt on too.
Oh,
So
thank you.
for that. Yeah. And I feel like a big recurring theme from this podcast for those who have watched slash listened to this channel before is a lot of you guys are worship leaders kids, and I found that really cool. Like how you guys started out as a worship leaders kid, but now you're making your music in your own way.
Yeah. I so it was what's strange is I every one of my siblings became a worship leader, but my parents weren't. They were just church people. They just had us there.
Mhm.
So it's really cool. So yeah, I lead worship. My all my siblings do, and funny how that works out.
Question: Do since you do like do worship at your church and everything, are
Mhm.
any of your siblings go to your church, or is it just you, or are they all over?
We're all scattered. So I'm we yeah. So I nobody comes to my church. They're all in different parts of the country. So Texas and New York, Massachusetts. We're all scattered around. So I wish they did, but you know.
You actually do like a sibling like worship event.
When they come visit or when I go visit, we do. It's kind of fun.
That's
Um,
so cool. I
it,
just thought of that idea in my head, but like
it's
I
great.
said, I told you ahead of time. Like I don't know where this podcast was gonna go, but it just
It's
made me
all
think
good.
about just a follow up. Anyway, you just said you've been releasing new music. You just released a new single this past Friday on the 17th. This is probably gonna
Yep.
be past January 17th. This episode was the record. So this single's probably gonna be out a few weeks now since we talked. Just a heads up for people who are watching. I'm just giving a date for reference. Can you tell us a little bit about that single?
So yeah, that song it's I Say Yes is the name of it. And um when I wrote it, I had this image in my head of like that person who's kind of in the dust, in the dirt, desperate for something, for help. And like in the Bible where you've got the I don't know how to call them other than the destitute person. They're sitting in the dirt and Jesus is coming down the road. And when and they have no hope. They have no thought of I can reach out to Jesus. They're just going to sit there and they're going to ask for their alms. They're going to do their begging, and he's going to walk by. And so that's the mindset of the person in this song. And but then suddenly Jesus is right there in front of you, and he's saying, "Will you believe me?" And it's in that moment when you say yes to Jesus that everything changes. And so that's really the nutshell of that whole song, that God, when you say yes, can take you from dust and dirt and ashes and to take you to faith and fire.
That's really cool. And you have a fantastic blend of artists. I got this from your website, so don't bear with me. I'm just
Sure.
taking stuff from your website for reference points. Your music's like a blend of Brandon Heath, Matthew West, and Stephen Curtis Chapman. Do you say there's some musical inspirations of yours?
So yeah, definitely some inspiration from there. But if I'm to be honest, my if you have to go back a lot further than that for my influences. Growing up on Long Island, Billy Joel was a huge influence on my life.
Mhm.
Um, Stevie Ray Vaughan is one of my favorite artists of all time. Like I love the blues and rock and roll. Um, Early Christian artists, not just Stephen Curtis Chapman, but guys like Brian Duncan and BB and CC Winans back in the day, and um, even R&B, Stevie Wonder. I love all that stuff, and that's all very influential in my. And you can hear all that elements of all that in my music.
It's cool you just brought up like Stevie Wonder and Billy Joel. I'm seeing Billy Joel for the first time in March, so I'm pretty
Oh
excited
yeah.
about that. And then I just saw Stevie Wonder back here in October.
Well, when you see Billy Joel, there's going to be a guy on stage named Mike Del Judas. I grew up with him. We played on Long Island together. I used to play saxophone behind him playing keyboard, and now he's living the dream playing with Billy Joel. So it's kind of cool.
It's really cool. I like those nosebleed seats, but I feel
That's
like
all
it's
right.
gonna be like I feel like it's just like a one of a
You
time.
could luck out though. Billy has a habit of grabbing somebody from the nosebleeds and putting them in the front row.
Yeah, I'm pretty lucky. I'm not gonna say I'm not trying to be biased, but I'm pretty lucky. But
Great. Better than me. I'm not lucky at all. I don't get those
so
kind
if
of luck.
Billy Joel grabs me for the front row, we're gonna just have him on this podcast, guys. I'm gonna say, hey, come to my podcast. He's probably not a good Christian musician artist to have on this podcast, but it'd be cool just to have a legend on the podcast too.
Nobody would complain about having a legend on their podcast, I'm sure.
Exactly. But anyway, this is not about Billy Joel. This is about you and everything. You've been working with NRT Music recently. Can you tell us how it's
Yeah.
been with working with like Kevin and NRT Music?
They're great. So it's a new relationship. They've been a part of my two new releases, Free Indeed and I Say Yes. And just seeing, Kevin's been very influential for me in helping me just kind of establish my part of the the out there part of my artistry. Like there's a so artistry is divided into parts, right? There's the part where it's what you're doing in private and the writing and with your guitar or your keyboard setting in your bedroom, right? But then there's the part where you have to start making yourself known, and Kevin has been huge in helping me get that established.
That's really cool. And Kevin's a great guy.
Oh,
We've
he's
had
fantastic.
I've actually had Kevin on this podcast, believe it or not. It's been a
All
fun
right.
time. I'm talking about getting him again for if anyone knows, we talked about this a couple episodes ago. I'm not going to go into details again, but the We Love Awards are coming up. So we might talk about that again. And I'm just saying, and great, you're working with Kevin. I think he's a great mentor as well. So,
Yeah, he's been great.
flash forward to now. We're in the middle of January here. I know we said this episode's probably going to come out in 3 weeks. I'm just putting standpoint so we know when we're talking. So people are like, why did you say this is going to be out in like 3 weeks? And now the song's already out. It's because I'm filming this in January. Sorry to hurt your feelings, guys. But do you have any future plans for the rest of the year? Like any new songs, EPs?
Yeah.
If you can't talk about something, we can be hush hush about it, but I just throw in the
No,
question.
no problem talking about it. So I've actually just completed a full EP, and I Say Yes is the second song off of the EP. So there's another four songs that'll be coming out over the next, 4, 5, 6 months. And so just be watching for that because it's all really excellent stuff I was able to do when I was down in Nashville last year. Um, I'm super excited about it because this is all part of we talked about branding earlier. This is all the new brand of Jay David's, and it's not that it's not my story or hasn't been it, but it's there's you kind of get to where there's the stuff you used to do and there's the stuff you're called to do, and this is what I'm called to do. Like there's a big part of this that is more the real me than I've ever put out before. So I'm really excited about it.
That's cool. And anyone who's listening slash watching slash streaming slash whatever you do with this podcast, if you're hating against it, I guess you can hate against it. I still love you if you hate against it. Make sure to check out Jay's channel, check out his Facebook page, his Instagram page, and everything for new things coming soon. Do you have
Yeah.
any events coming up this year?
Do I have any? It broke up
Like
there for a moment.
events? Yeah.
Events.
Yes.
So I have a couple things planned. The only one that is kind of a public event right now is I'll be at Hope 25, which is a festival in September up here in PA. That's going to be a good one. I'll be at the Sellersville Theater. I'm mostly doing local regional things right now, but I've got some things in the works. I just don't have details on those, so I don't want to share them yet. But there's some big things that I believe are coming up, and like it's early in the year, so we're working those things out. But yeah, I'm excited about it. I did was able to do a show at a place called the Sellersville Theater last year, and they don't often have Christian artists come in, but I was able. It was just kind of a connection that I was able to make, and they had us in, and they said we'd love to you guys. We just need to have you back, so that's on the schedule too. So, yeah, I'm open to do more things, and I'm trying to do more things. It's just there's a this is the beginning of this adventure, so it takes some time to roll things up.
Totally understandable. I just
Yep.
was wondering, so like any of the listeners of this episode, I should say, I was gonna say channel, but episode because we get people from watch one random episode and they'll never watch
Mm,
another episode. Saying, could you come check you out or support you out? So,
yeah. And if anyone wants, I do this is what I do. So I'm happy to come if you want Jay David's band to come, we'll be there. Let me know.
and we just have a few extra moments with you today.
Yeah.
I like giving the floor to our guests about anything they want to speak about. It can be a message, it can be a story, it can just be something completely random because I'm random and you like randomness. Um, so I like to give you the floor to speak about anything you want.
Sure. The big thing in my life right now is the mission that God's put in me, and that like you mentioned my sweatshirt, the restore is my this is my one of my merch items, but it's restore and restoration is the mission that God's given me. It's God, and to nutshell that, I believe that God can take what's broken and restore it. He can take the dead things and bring them back to life. He can take what's been destroyed and make something beautiful out of it. And that's what God's works in me when I do when I minister, when I'm doing concerts and stuff like that. That's what he's doing. That's what he seems the way he seems to be working in me. And that's my heart. Kind of based out of Malachi, where it says he's returning the hearts of the children to the fathers and fathers to the children. Brokenness comes in all different ways, but I believe that God is a God of restoration, and that's really what my mission is. So that's the thing. That's my takeaway. That's the thing I would. If anybody listens to what I say, that's the thing I want them to take away when I'm done talking is God wants to restore whatever that is in your life, whatever situation that you want that you're seeking restoration, or even you might not even know about it. You just know that there's brokenness. God wants to restore you to health, to where he created you to be.
Thank you for sharing that. And for those who are listening and everything, I recommend replaying that clip. I might make a reel of it. I'm trying to invest into making more reels for the podcast channel. So you might hear me make a reel of this, but I recommend just playing that and repeat if I don't make a reel of it. Jay, I know this conversation was nice and short. I like keeping the channel nice and short. I appreciate your time and thank you for joining me today.
Thank you. Appreciate your time.
And everyone else who's watching and streaming this channel, I appreciate you tuning into this episode of the Christian Music Pro podcast. Remember, if you like what you're listening to, watching, like, follow, and subscribe. And if you comment, I always try to make sure I comment back or respond to you as soon as I can. Take care, everyone, and we'll see you next time.